From devourdinner.com. Welcome to my kitchen and happy Sunday, everybody. I'm excited to be here and I sure hope you're excited to be here too, because today I'm going to show you not one, but two fun recipes that you can make for your family and enjoy. And let me tell you, they are mouth-watering, delicious. I've been drooling all week being excited for this recipe. And so I'm so excited to share it with you. Before we get going, of course, we do want to make sure that technology is going live in all the places that it's intended to go live. So today I am live on Facebook in the Devour Dinner Facebook page, as well as on the Devour Dinner YouTube page. And we want to make sure that you can hear me. And so I want a lot of thumbs up and hearts from everybody, just so that we know that the sound, the audio is doing great and that everything's running smoothly. Hi, Chris. How are you? Hey, Susan. Susan is from Minnesota. Chris is from California. Hey, Kathy. Kathy is from Florida. Good old sunny Florida. I miss Florida. I was there, just a week and a half ago, it feels like. Actually, not even that. It was last week I came home. Wow, it's been a great 3 weeks of the year. It's a blur already. Does it feel that way for you at home? I kind of feel like it does. Hi, Sigrid. How are you? Sounding good on Facebook. Okay, that's what I love to know. And Amy is on. Let's welcome Amy. Amy is from the Instapot 101 for Beginners group. She is the admin over there. She has her team of fantastic moderators who also chime in. They're fantastic ladies who support me in all that I do. They also help to answer questions while I'm just rattling off all this information. So if you're new here, welcome, welcome. Again, I am Rebecca from Devour Dinner. Please consider following me here on Facebook. That way you'll see all the latest, newest recipes and things that I have going on, and it'll populate into your feed. Also, this is a place where you can ask questions. This is safe. No question is silly. Trust me, I promise. If you knew my story with Instant Pot, you would know I was a failure. 100% failure, sent the Instant Pot back. So the fact that I'm actually teaching others how to use this appliance and love it is heaven sent. But let's get started. We're gonna make Instant Pot cilantro lime rice. We're gonna drop the link over in the comments so that you can open up a separate browser and follow along, or that you'll have that link for later this week as you're making it yourself. But we're going to start with our Instant Pot, and the first thing we need to do is heat up that bottom element. We're going to use the saute feature. So let's turn that on, and it'll take just a minute to heat up. Okay, let me get some things out of the way here so I can see these comments. Hi, Sherry, how are you? Hey, Jen. Jen's from Florida as well. We've got somebody from Germany. Welcome. Welcome, welcome.
You are welcome.
Did you guys hear that? That was Siri telling me you are welcome. All right, we're going to turn Siri down. We do not need Siri for this. Hi, Heather. How are you doing? You guys, that always throws me when Siri jumps into my conversations. What happened to my thumb? Okay, yep, I got a Band-Aid on it, and it's a Mickey Mouse Band-Aid to boot. I opened a box, like a thin paper box, but it was rigid enough, and I got the massive, deepest, thickest paper cut. I know, really pathetic. It would have been great if I said, oh, I cut it with a knife, but I haven't. It was with a box paper cut, but it's so thick, it just hurts. And because we use our thumbs for everything, it's just having a struggle staying closed. So I slapped a Band-Aid on it, and I change it often because, well, I'm in and out of water. You guys get the visual on that. Hey, Patty, how are you? Hey, Sigrid. Paper cuts are the worst. They really are. They're like brutal, brutal. Paper cuts really hurt. They totally do. Okay, so today we're gonna make cilantro lime rice. I'm heating up the bottom element of the Instant Pot by pressing saute. For this recipe, we're going to use some white rice. You can rinse that rice, that's always a good thing, along with some lime juice. You can use bottled or fresh lime juice with a little bit of salt and some cumin, some butter, and of course some cilantro, right? We got to have some cilantro in there. Now, this is a recipe that I originally started making on the stovetop, and I love, love, love it. And then I adapted it for the Instant Pot as well. So it can be made in a variety of different ways. But what I do like to do is I like to heat up some butter and put the rice in it and let the rice kind of almost brown in that butter, saute up in that butter. You'll notice that the rice is going to turn like a white color, and we want that. I feel like it helps give extra flavor to the rice, makes it a more like a woodsy kind of flavor along with that lime and that cilantro. So it's really, really good. Hey, Carol, you're new. Welcome. Carol's from Montreal. Okay, somebody's talking about Naples. Is that Naples in Florida, or is that Naples?
Carol Winter is wintering in Naples.
Oh, okay, I'm jealous. You're wintering in Naples? I love it. Love it. Okay, our Instant Pot is hot. So I'm gonna take this butter. We're gonna put it down in the bottom. We're gonna move this under our camera and give you the top-down version because, of course, you come and watch so you can see what's going on, right? Now, your butter is gonna quickly turn brown. So get that rice in there and let it absorb up all of that butter. Get it stirred around. You're gonna hear it sizzle. That's all right. You can see already, kind of hard to see in the video, but we already have some of the pieces of rice that are just bright white. And ultimately, we want to see close to half that nice bright white. Now, when you do this on the stove, you've got an even temperature of heat coming from the bottom. However, when you're using your pressure cooker, once you add the butter, because the butter's melting, it adjusts that temperature, and then we added all that rice, it's gonna take a minute for our pressure cooker to heat up again, right? So the temperature's a little varying, so sometimes this can take a minute. You do wanna make sure, let me double check this actually, that we are on the more heat. So on the sauteing level, you can have kind of low, medium, high, and just press the saute feature multiple times if you want that at a hotter temperature. So this will only take a few minutes. We'll just let it do its thing. Hi Betty, how are you? What's cooking? Cilantro lime rice. I love cilantro lime rice. It's so good with such a variety of proteins. And of course, today I'm going to be making steak fajitas in the air fryer. But you could add this to like a sweet pulled pork, or you could add it to more of a Mexican chicken or a salsa chicken. And it's wonderful to serve as a side to so many things. So today, as I'm making fajitas, you at home, tell me how you like your fajitas, right? Meaning, do you like a traditional fajita with a tortilla where you load it up with maybe some refried beans and then some rice along with some maybe fresh pico and guacamole and some cheese? Is that how you like your fajitas? I like it that way too, but today I'm gonna make them a little different. Today I'm gonna make a fajita salad. Now, why a salad? Can any of you guess? Sherry says, I like them loaded. I like them loaded too, all the yummy things. So the reason I'm gonna do a fajita salad today is because, as all of you know, I have been doing kind of a healthy living and trying to make better choices in my foods. It's something that I started January of last year. Those of you who've been watching now for a while know that I've been shrinking quite a bit. And I choose where I place my carbs, essentially. And so I'm gonna forgo the tortilla, and I'm gonna have a big, beautiful salad, and I'm gonna enjoy some of this rice today. Okay, can you see? Not real well. We've got a lot of these rice kernels that are that bright white color. You want to make sure they don't brown. We don't want them to turn brown. We just want them to kind of saute up a little bit. As it cooks, because we've used that butter underneath, you might notice that we're going to need to deglaze the bottom of the pot, and that's okay. I'm going to show you how to do that too. So I'm going to turn this off, and then I'm just going to add a small amount of liquid. Of course, we just fogged up the camera, but that liquid gives us just enough to scrape the bottom and lift anything like the rice, or maybe we've got some brown butter that's stuck to the bottom, so we can lift that up. All right. Then we're going to add in. So I used about 1.25 cups of rice. I'm going to use 1.5 cups of broth. And to this, we're going to add a little bit of salt, and we're going to add some cumin. And of course, we're going to add some lime juice. Now you can add fresh lime juice, or you can add the bottled. And then I'm going to add some cilantro. And now I've got it all stuck to my hands. There we go. I'm going to give this just a quick stir, basically to even out the rice. Right? We don't want any rice stuck up on the side. We want it all down in the liquid. And there we go. Now I'm going to put the lid on, close that pressure valve in back, and we are going to heat this for 6 minutes. So pressure cook your plus and your minus keys to 6 minutes. There we go. Of course, as always, it's going to take just a moment. We're going to hear it beep. When it beeps, it unplugged. Let's try that again. I hit that cord. If you ever wonder why I repeat that every single week, it's so that I know that I didn't unplug it. There we go. All right, we wait for that beep. The beep is going to tell us that the pressure cooker has accepted those readings, and it's going to start heating that bottom element. It's going to bring that thin liquid, that chicken broth, to a boil. As it goes to a boil, it's going to create steam. Of course, steam creates pressure, and pressure is going to seal off the back of the Instant Pot or electric pressure cooker, whatever brand you're using. Then it'll take just a moment, and our front panel is going to change, and it's going to say 6 on the front. Those numbers are going to count down in time when it's pressure cooking, okay? Then we're going to get another beep. We're going to allow the rice a 6-minute natural pressure release before we release the remaining pressure, and we open up the lid. That's how easy it is to make cilantro lime rice. So whenever you're making a meal, get that started first so that it can be cooking while you're working on everything else. All right, we're going to push this off to the side. We're still plugged in. And now let's make the fajita marinade. Now this is a homemade marinade that I truly love. So we're going to add about 2 tablespoons of olive oil, maybe a little more. It's all good. We're going to add into that some minced garlic, along with some orange juice. Then we're going to add in some lime juice. We've got a whole bunch of seasonings here. So we have black pepper, we have cumin, we have paprika, we have chili powder. We've even got some oregano in here, believe it or not. Okay, we're going to add all of those spices in. And then we're going to add to it a little bit more cilantro. Now, if you're not a huge fan of cilantro, leave it out. It's just fine. The other thing, if you want to spice up the heat level of your marinade, add some jalapenos. Okay, jalapenos are going to add wonderful heat to your marinade. Purely preference, whatever you like. In the recipe, you're going to see the different levels of the heat level of peppers. So you could choose something like an Anaheim pepper that has less heat. If you still like that spicy flavor but not the hot, you can choose something different, or you can leave it out completely. All right, I'm also just gonna add in just a little bit of cilantro. Oh, that leaf did not get cut. So we'll do that. Now, to this, we're just gonna stir this up. This is our marinade, all right? This marinade is wonderful. And you want to marinate your meat, whether it's steak or whether it's chicken. You're gonna wanna marinate it because that's what gets those juices to penetrate in to your meat, help make it a little more tender for grilling or air frying, however you choose to make it. Doesn't that look good? It's delicious, I'm telling you. Of course, you at home know, dun, 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 I've already made some. So I've got my flank steak in here, kind of hard to see, but I put it in a Ziploc bag so that I can throw it in the fridge and I can periodically shake it up and massage it a little bit while it's marinating. Now, I have found that you don't want to marinate for more than about 2 hours. Otherwise, flank steak tends to get like more stringy and it ruins the flank steak, so it doesn't need a whole lot. Flank steak is a beautiful, beautiful cut of meat, one of my absolute favorites because it is so tender. There is no reason to overcook flank steak. Listen to that again. There is no reason to overcook flank steak. It is a beautiful cut of steak all on its own. But of course, we got to get it cooking. So I'm going to push this off to the side. The air fryer we're going to cook today at 400 degrees. And I did have this preheating before we started, so that kind of helps. You can place a liner if you'd like in it. Actually, we're gonna do that. Or you can spray it with some avocado spray. Have you dropped the link for the fajitas? Oh, good. I'll come back to those questions here in just a minute. Now I'm just trying to make sure that all those juices kind of come off before I place this in here. We're gonna get rid of this bag. Okay, here we go. We're gonna put this right into our air fryer. Now you'll preheat your air fryer to 400 degrees, and then we're going to cook this for, I'm going to start with 4 minutes. And we're going to do both sides. Now, every single air fryer heats differently. Do not ruin a beautiful steak. Do not ruin a beautiful steak by looking at a recipe and putting it on for the whole time that they suggest. If you've never tried the recipe before, chances are it's gonna be too much. Always start on the lower end or even a minute less, okay? Super, super important. So the recipe is typically 5 to 7 minutes. I'm starting on 4 minutes because I want to see what it's gonna do. I want you at home to see the process of how to do this so that you have perfect steak every single time. Sound good? Let me move some of these dishes out of the way. And let's see here. Okay, with our fajitas, one of the things that I love is vegetables. I love bell peppers and I love onions, all the things. Now, of course, these vegetables are fantastic all on their own, right? We don't need to add anything to them. But we can, so why don't we? So I'm gonna throw these into this marinade. Remember, this is the fresh marinade that I just made. No meat has been on this. So if I was gonna marinate my steak, I would pull some of this aside. Just a little, like 3 tablespoons, just enough so that I can throw my vegetables in it and kind of get some of that flavor into it. Because we're gonna add the vegetables to our air fryer to cook up on the halfway point. Make sense? So I'm just gonna throw those in there. course those vegetables are going to absorb all of that yumminess. All right, so we're gonna let that sit, just kind of do its little magic right there. And I want to point out, once again, my Thermapen. You guys see me use this almost every week. The Thermapen is what I'm gonna use to test the steak. What's a better way to test the internal temperature than with an internal thermometer? So this is by ThermaWorks. It's the Thermapen. I love it. I have multiple of them in my home. I've gifted them to my boys for Christmas so that they have them because they last and they're fantastic. But it allows me to test the internal temperature of proteins, of meats, so I know what's going on. It also works well in other cooking too. You want to test the internal temperature of a dessert, you can test with this as well. It works really, really nicely. Peggy says, blank steak used to be a cheap out. It's not cheap anymore. Not at all cheap anymore, sadly, right? There's a recipe that we make. It's not on my site. We call it snake steak. I don't know how it got its name. My kids still, they're grown, raised, and they know exactly what snake steak is, and they love it. So even today, when I was telling my teenager who's still at home that we were doing steak fajitas, the first thing he wanted to know was what cut of meat, and I said snake. Of course, this isn't snake, this is beef, but that's just a family funny ha-ha that we deal with here. Okay, this just beeped, so our meat has cooked now for 4 minutes. Look at that. So we're just gonna test it. We're up to 80 degrees is all. So nowhere near where we want to be, which is good. We're just gonna flip this over. Uh-oh. And then we're gonna pop it right back in. Now I'm gonna do this again at 400 degrees. And I'm gonna do another 4 minutes. Okay, so in the end, this is a lot less than what I suggest. We'll probably be adding a minute or two at the end till we get to that temperature that we want. Our Instant Pot has beeped at us. I don't know if you heard that beep in the middle of flipping the steak or not. What that meant was the front panel has now, it's gone to 0, but now it's gone back up to 1. So it's beeped because it hit 0, telling us our pressure cooking time is done. It is now going to count up in numbers. As it counts up in numbers, what it's doing is a natural pressure release. So if you're new to pressure cooking, that's when there's no more pressure being added, and it's gonna slowly come down because it's slowly being released. We're gonna watch this, and when it hits the 6-minute mark, we're gonna open up that pressure valve and let out the rest of the pressure before we can open the lid. So we're gonna do just a short little natural pressure release on this. We'll just push this off to the side, let it do its thing. Kathy, you're right. I did say I was gonna throw them in. I'm actually gonna throw the veggies in when I pull the steak out and we let the steak rest. Because the steak we can't cut. That was my bad. But thank you for pointing that out. Hello, Shar, how are you? Hello, hello. Jen says, everything is expensive right now. Yes, sadly. Very, 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 very expensive right now. It's really hard. Yesterday I was at Costco and I was really starting to pay attention to how I shop. I was at both Costco and at Walmart. So locally I live in a very small community, but there's not a lot of shopping options. The grocery stores we have are great, but they are higher priced. And so the cheapest option in town is Walmart. Not great, but that's the cheapest option. And yesterday when I was in Costco, I got to thinking of, I think I want to change my shopping structure where I look more at some of these bulk foods that I can buy for a lower price point overall, per ounce or per pound or per whatever, and make better choices and planning to cut my overall spending. Does that make sense? Because it's really starting to hit. Of course, the price of eggs, the price of butter is so astronomical that like it breaks my heart. It's just too hard. And I know that I'm feeling the pinch. I know that my kids are really feeling the pinch, and I know you're feeling the pinch. And so I thought about doing more of like some shopping of, okay, this is what I'm buying this week and these are the recipes that I'm making with it. And doing minimal shopping at the grocery stores for, you know, things like cilantro that you're not going to buy at Costco. Just a thought. Just a thought. Okay, we're going to drop some other links here while we're waiting for all of this. Many of you like your fajitas loaded, so I do have a homemade guacamole on my site that you can also make. If you go to the homemade guacamole, it's linked in that recipe where I make a roasted salsa and a salsa verde, so a green salsa and a red salsa. Both of those are fantastic. In fact, both of those recipes are ones that I learned while I was in Mexico, and I took a culinary experience to learn how to make salsa fresh, and the guacamole, which was just so much fun. So much fun. Best guacamole I've ever had, having avocados that were grown right there in Mexico. So we'll get the links for those. There's another recipe that I have on my site for an oven-baked chicken fajita. Now, the marinade is similar that I use on that one, but it's an oven-baked recipe that I also really, really love. And it includes the vegetables. You can do a whole big sheet pan. It feeds a crowd, and so that's kind of fun. All right, let's show you this top down. Let's see where we're at. We're only at about 100. Oh, some places we're about 110, 115. Okay, I'm gonna flip it one more time. Probably should have picked this up. And we're gonna put it back in for 2 minutes. Just 2 minutes more, I think will get us to a point that we're gonna really like this, which essentially means I will have cooked it for like 5 minutes on each side, and you can see how fast that is. Our rice over here has now been doing a natural pressure release for 5 minutes, so we're gonna give it just a minute more before we open that up. Of course, when you open up your pressure cooker, move it away from your cabinets. Move it away from your hanging lights, because that steam is gonna shoot up. It will ruin the varnish, the stain on your cabinets over time. And we don't wanna do that. So move it away and let's open it up. So I've got it right here. We're gonna open up that pressure. You can't see on camera, but that steam is shooting up. It's shooting away from my overhead camera and my computer on this other side. Then I wanna show you how to fluff the rice. We don't want to just dive in with a rice paddle and pick up our rice, or the rice tends to get mashed, which we don't want that. I know what I forgot. I forgot a bowl to put the rice in. Unfortunately, the bowl I want, you're not going to be able to get, so I'm going to let you be creative and figure something out. Yeah, you could do a glass one. My husband and I always joke about what will I forget to go live. Like, and I literally write lists and check things off, and you guys know I always forget something. It's what it is. No, way too big, way too big. And then he has to read my mind and figure something out. Yeah, that works. All right. Our rice is still releasing pressure. Our steak has now cooked those 2 extra minutes. So we're gonna just test it really fast. Oh, it's still not. No. So the outskirts are where I want it to be. The interior is not quite there yet. So we're just gonna do this one more time. All right, do you see the process in how I'm testing little by little with this steak? I want you to do this at home the first time you try some of these recipes, because that's the way to ensure that you're going to have perfectly cooked recipes. Now, here's a little tidbit. Those of you who are using the air fryer lid on your Instant Pot that you have, air fryer lids typically cook faster. When you see recipes that are on the internet from bloggers, more times than not, they are for a basket air fryer or the air fryer with the racks, unless they specifically say they are an air fryer lid, okay? So knowing that, adjust in your mind to adjust that time down. And the reason why is typically with the air fryer lid, your meat is a lot closer to that fan circulating around. And if you think like an oven and the broil element on an oven, when you have an item up close to the heating element, it toasts really fast, doesn't it? So that's why your air fryer lids are going to cook things quicker. Sometimes with air fryer lids, in this recipe, I actually would turn the heat down to like 375, and I would start with 4 minutes, and then I'd flip it for 4 minutes. Because that 400 degrees is gonna be way hot with as close as it is. Make sense? So do those adjustments when you're using your air fryer lid so that your steak, your chicken is perfect every single time. All right, our rice is now done. We're gonna open up that lid. We're gonna let that camera release. It's all steamed up. There we go. All right, here's your tip on how to fluff rice. All right? Take a fork and lift. Do you see how I'm just scraping the top? I'm just lifting the rice. You'll notice when all of the steam that comes off of this. It's because I'm releasing that steam from all throughout. But by lifting the rice little by little, it's not smashed. You see that? That is how you get rice that is not all pressed together, but a nice, light, fluffy rice. Make sense? Okay. We're gonna push this aside before I dish this up because I want to get our steak pulled out, and I wanna let it rest so that we can get these veggies going. Let's see. Now, to make it rest, we're just gonna let it sit, but I am gonna cover it with some foil because I want it to stay hot, right? We're gonna put this away. We're gonna get, let's see here. Let's see. All right, my basket is all yucky and gross. I'm just gonna pull out this and toss it. I'm gonna put in a new liner. It'll get gross fast, but it looks a little prettier, make it a little bit easier to see what we've got going on. And then I'm gonna take these veggies. Now I don't want all that liquid, so I'm just gonna kind of scoop them out. I don't know if you can see on my face forward, but I'm just scooping these vegetables out. There we go. And of course, now that the veggies are all tossed together, I'm just gonna make kind of an even layer. Of course, they are kind of stacked on each other. That's totally fine. just gonna start that. Okay, where do we even begin? Now, our steak is going to rest. Let it rest for 4 or 5 minutes. And the reason for that is we want those juices to be held inside. We want that meat tender and nice. Then we're gonna slice it up so that it's ready to go. And then I'm gonna put together this beautiful salad that I have today. I'm kind of excited about. The fun thing is, any of this marinade that did not touch the meat, remember no meat was in this. I had a whole separate one for the steak. This could actually be used as a salad dressing. Be really good if you like. Today I'm actually going to use a cilantro lime salad dressing. It's one of our favorites. We're going to add a little bit of cheese. I'm not going to do a whole lot to my salad today. Kind of keeping it simple. But of course we're going to add some chips because it's going to be kind of a taco-y fajita salad. So I want some chips in there, some cheese, a little more cilantro. I've also got some fresh lime that I'm going to be squeezing on top. I've made a bed of lettuce, which has some green leaf lettuce as well as iceberg. I find not only does it give some nice color, I like it. So we're going to do that. And let's grab this bowl and I'm going to serve up this rice. Let's try to get some of this out of the way. There we go, there's our rice. So now I can take the rice paddle and I can just lift this out without pressing it together. While I'm doing that, for those of you who have not subscribed to me, whether it's here on Facebook or on YouTube, please, please, please subscribe and follow along. And don't hesitate to give this video a thumbs up or a heart. The little support really goes a long ways. Really it does. There we go. There's our rice. Sigrid says I'm going to try that fluff trick with my rice cooker. Yes, it works in the rice cooker as well. Such an easy thing because you know in the rice cooker, it's like your rice is like flat. It looks all dense and put together. Fluff that rice. I think you can even tell how fluffy this rice is. It's not all kind of glooped together, right? It's really, really nice and such an easy way to make a fun side dish. All right, let's take a look at this steak. Now, you always want to cut across the grain, never with the grain. Ha ha ha, look at this. Oh, do you see that? Just a little bit of pink inside. Now that's how we like it. So this is about at 130 internal temperature. If you like a more done steak, you will want to cook it a little bit longer, add a minute per side, and it'll make all the difference. With flank steak, as you can see, can you get a good picture of that? Let's see. There we go. See, oh, got to keep my hand there. We've got the darker around the edges and the nice pink in the middle. Shows how nice and tender it is. Oh, it looks good. I am really, really excited for this. You guys see that? I don't want to lift this up because of the juices. But when I get it placed on my salad over here, I will show it to you up close and personal. All right, I'm gonna add a little bit of rice to this salad. Yes, I am one who does like rice on a salad. I know, I'm weird that way. We're then going to add a couple of these pieces of steak right on top. And I'm gonna do myself a favor and I'm gonna cut some of these smaller so that I can taste test with you live and not have a huge piece of steak in my mouth. All right, tuck that knife underneath there. Let me check these. Ooh. All right, so these vegetables have been in there about 5 minutes. So not anything huge, but let me show them to you. Can you see those? Oh, I'm excited. I love sauteed vegetables. You guys, I could eat sauteed vegetables like every single day. It's like my jam. Of course, you can cook these more, you can cook them less. You know, make it your own. Make it what you want, right? That over there. All right, how are we doing so far? Let me get so, oh, look at that. That's beautiful. All right, I'm gonna put a little bit of cheese. Of course, I'm garnishing this up and not stirring it all together just yet. This will be a little hard to stir together. And then you can add some chips to it as well if you want some of that crunch. I'm just gonna put some off to the side because it really is all about presentation. So I have found in all of my healthy eating that I can use a small plate to make a meal. And this is a huge plate for me, huge plate because it's so mounted up. But if I take the time to make it look visually appealing, I'm just a happy camper. It just makes me happy. So take that few extra minutes to do that. I promise you it's well worth it. We're gonna go ahead and add a little bit of dressing. And I'm just gonna add it over here. Where are we at? There we go. And I'm just gonna dip into it. But not before I add a little bit more fresh lime to all of this. Who's ready for a bite? Seriously, who is ready for a bite? Here we go. Do you see that? Wow. You guys, we just made this in 45 minutes. 45 minutes. All right, I want to taste some of this steak over here. So I'm just going to take a little bit of steak. Get some lettuce going on here. We're going to try this. You guys, this is heavenly. I'm going to get a vegetable. This is my jam. I am one happy camper with this meal. Look at that. Wow. Fantastic recipes. Fantastic recipes. All right, what'd you learn today? Did you learn you want to come have dinner at my house? I hope so. But truly, what did you learn today? Because I want you to take these skills that I'm trying to teach you so that you can make some of these recipes at home for your family and try them out and not be afraid to do so. Because I feel like in healthy eating, if we add variety to our meals and flavors and textures, we'll be happier all around. I truly believe that. My journey into healthy living was not about a diet. For those of you who haven't heard, my journey with healthy living that I started last January was learning how to have a better relationship with food, to figure out what foods made my body feel better. They gave me more energy. What foods made my stomach feel full and bloated and yucky. And then learn how to make better choices so that I wasn't always grabbing the high calorie, high fat foods that weren't giving me the energy that my body so desperately needed. And I spent all 2022 learning that. Of course, those of you who've been watching, you saw me losing weight. My goal wasn't to lose weight. And I can promise you, I still eat carbs and I still eat treats. I eat cookies. I have a cookie website. You know that. I've lost this weight even baking cookies. And I know you can too. It's become my passion in so many ways because I'm tired of the way the world looks at weight and sizes. And it does this mental thing to all of us women and men who might be carrying extra weight. Stop with that. Start choosing foods that make you feel better, because in time, as you recognize those foods, you will not crave the foods you once thought you did. And other foods will taste so much better because your palate is all cleansed out. I know I've motivated a lot of people this year. My husband is one of them. He has been making better choices now for about the last 2 weeks, 14 days, 15 days, something like that. His belt on his waist, he's had to take it in 2 notches. 2 notches. He's losing weight. Yesterday I asked him questions like, what are you learning? How's it going? Like, where is your motivation to lose weight? And he says, no, my motivation is to feel better. He starts every morning with a protein shake, which again, we'll drop that link. You guys, I love Clean Simple Eats protein. Whatever protein you choose a protein, get it in your system. I do love this protein. And my husband commented yesterday I tried other proteins too, and they didn't fill me up very long, but this Clean Simple Eats protein is filling him up all morning clear till lunch. And it's suppressing his appetite so he's not grabbing other things. He's lost about 12 pounds. Now he's a bigger guy, and guys can lose weight faster than girls. The point is to feel better. This is a meal that I will devour and will fill me up. I'll add a little bit more steak into this, and I will love it. I hope you guys will make this too. If you do nothing else for me, hop over to my website, give it some love. Check out this recipe for both the air fryer. Let's drop both those links again. The air fryer fajita marinade, as well as the Instant Pot cilantro rice. And give the website some love. If you've made any of my recipes this week, please go back and leave a comment. Let me know you've made them. Give it a star rating. Help others know it's a great recipe because it does make a difference. I promise you that. All right, we're gonna wrap this up. Show you this one more time. Look at that. Oh, it's good. Okay, have a fantastic week. I will be back next week with another fantastic recipe. You will see me post that early this week so that you can get it on your radar, on your calendars. Make sure to invite a friend. These are free. Come and learn, come and ask your questions. As always, I am so grateful to each one of you. I couldn't be here doing this without you at home who tune in every single week, who come to my recipes, who tell your roommates, your friends, your relatives, your neighbors about my site. And I'm so, so grateful and humbled to have each one of you in my life. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Big hugs if you have shared this, like Amy has in the Instapot 101 for Beginners group. Big, big, big hugs. I am so grateful for all the love that I receive that way as well. So big shout out to Amy from the Instapot 101 for Beginners group, and any of you who have hopped on over here. If you're watching this on the replay, I'll circle back around and try to answer questions. But for now, I'm going to wrap it up. Happy Sunday. Enjoy steak fajitas. Enjoy cilantro lime rice. Have a fantastic week, and remember, be kind, especially be kind to yourselves. All right, everyone.